Alright, so in this video I'm going to be going over some more pickups from May of 2018. So as I mentioned in a previous video, I have had a lot of pickups for the month of May, so I'm kind of splitting it out in a couple different videos. And so we're just going to continue with some pickups. We'll go ahead and start with some HD DVD movies. Found a guy on Facebook. He was looking to get out of HD DVDs. And I messaged him, sent him the list of ones I didn't have. He actually had 3 of them, so I went ahead and picked these up off of him. We've got Into the Wild, I Am Legend, and Into the Valley of Elah. So we got those 3 HDVDs. And then we'll go ahead and go into some Game Gear games. So we've got Olympic Gold. I'm trying to complete the Game Gear set. Getting pretty close to that now. Riddick Bowe Boxing. Poker Face Paul's Gin. Shaq Fu. RoboCop 3. PGA Tour 96. And I also got the manual with that one. We also got Star Trek Generations. So that's it for the Game Gear games. I'm still missing, I believe, 6 Game Gear games. So still on the hunt for those. A couple Codemasters titles that are not very easy to find, at least for the US versions. The European versions can be had for $50 to $100. The US versions are a little bit harder to come by, so I am still holding out for those, waiting to see if I can come across those. Next up, I stopped at the Exchange at Robinson and picked up 3 Genesis titles. So I still have some gift cards from Christmas for the Exchange. So I went ahead and picked up any Genesis titles I didn't have, which are these 3. So we got Double Dragon 5. Saturday Slam Masters, and The Tick. So we got those 3 Genesis games from the Exchange. I made a trade on Facebook and got Kung Fu Heroes. Traded the seller 2 Super Nintendo sports games I had that he was interested in. Worked out a deal for that trade. And moving on to some more Genesis titles. Some of these came from eBay, some of these came from Facebook. So we've got Shining in the Darkness, Buck Rogers, Doom Troopers, Lawnmower Man, Nobunga's Ambition. This one is Sagia. I got a really good deal on that one. And Turrican I got in a lot with a bunch of game cases. So I started buying, and those won't be showcased in this video, but I started buying a lot of lots that have game cases, because I realized that, you know, if I buy game cases, let's say from custom game cases, I can't buy in bulk for the Genesis cases. So it's $4 a case. Well, I can buy lots of these and get at least $2 or less on these cases. So that's what I started doing, is plus I can get original cases. So I started buying up lots of cheaper games, more common games that I can get cased, selling off the game, keeping the case, and using that to case my other Genesis games. So Turrican was in one of those lots, obviously loose. Some of these Accolade carts came in boxes, and so it's a little beat up, but overall it's pretty good condition. Next up, Wiz and Liz, and then we've got the Flintstones. Been looking for this one for a while. I came across it on eBay one evening, bid on it, ended up winning that one. We've got the Magic School Bus, Whip Rush, Hellfire, And then on a Facebook trade, or not a trade, but a purchase, I got Warsung as well as Zul. So worked out a deal with the seller, picked up Warsung and Zul. And then moving on to some more Genesis titles. In one of the lots, similar to Turrican, I actually got Fire Shark, which is game and case, no manual, but the cartridge is in mint condition. Really nice to get that case. Again, I paid less than, once I average everything out, I think I ended up paying really $3 for the game. It just so happens that it got bundled in with the cases, that I was just trying to buy it at a bulk. So we were able to get that. Definitely a great price on Fire Shark. And then I'll be able to resell some of those duplicates to recoup some of that cost. Next up, we've got Hit the Ice. This one I'm really excited for. I've never played this game, but it's a arcade style hockey game, so really excited for that one. Next up, I got this in a lot as well, and it's Pete Sampras Tennis. And it's in really good condition. Unique thing about this cart was EA made the adapter, right? But this was made by Codemasters. And so, in order to play 4 players, you plugged controller 3 here and controller 4 directly into the cartridge, instead of supporting the 4-way adapters. And we've got Lost Vikings. I already had a cart of Lost Vikings, but again, this was in a lot. I think this was actually in the same lot as Fire Shark. And so we got another one. This is my old cart. I went ahead and put my old cart in here because the new one had a bunch of stickers on it. I'll be selling that one. And then the final Sega Genesis game we got a mint copy of Splatterhouse 2. Game I've been trying to get forever. It's really going up in price. Along with some of the other Genesis games, they're starting to climb in price now. Splatterhouse 2 was probably the most expensive game I did not have. So I went apart from Outback Joey, the Heartbeat Personal Trainer, and then Miracle Piano, of course. Those 2 sets. But apart from those, that was probably the most expensive, so I'm definitely happy to get that. And then we move on to some Dreamcast things here. So a very interesting lot I just came across on eBay, and I've heard of these titles before, but I couldn't remember where. And then it hit me, these are homebrew titles. So there was a lot that had 4 games in it. I went ahead and bid a few dollars each on these, and I actually won it. So I got Inhabitant, which is a Dreamcast game. Obviously, these are all Dreamcast games. Dreamcast homebrew game. Cool Herders. I'm really excited to try this one out. I actually wanted to buy this from the producer who released the publisher of the game. But when I checked, this was probably a few months ago, they weren't taking orders on this game anymore. So I was really happy to see this in the lot. This is actually what piqued my interest in the lot. And then we got 2 other things here. We've got the Super Game Converter. This was made by Innovation, and this was actually sold in retail stores. You could buy this in GameStop. It came in like a DVD style case. This allowed you to play imports on the US Dreamcast. So we got that, disc only. And then we also have, in a web browser case, we actually have what appears to be a home burned with a label stuck on it, Stella Atari. So 2600 Atari emulator loaded up with 2600 ROMs on here. And then we'll go ahead and stick with the Genesis theme. Another game I did get, I forgot to mention, was Rampart. Got that on an eBay auction. And then there was a accessory eBay auction that somehow I was the only person to bid on it. So I got all of this stuff really cheap. They're all accessories. They're all boxed accessories. In my experience, boxed accessories generally go for $30 to $40 each, regardless of what the accessory is for the most part. So we start off with the official Genesis extension cable. Very awesome item there. And then we have the original control pad. As you can see, it's got the red buttons, the actual printed buttons. We have the ASCIIware arcade stick. So this is the Power Clutch SG. These ones go for quite a bit, if I remember right, the ASCIIware ones. So I got this. It still has the styrofoam in the box. Mint condition. And also included in that lot, I was really excited when this came in. This was probably the item I really didn't care about in the lot. I really wanted, these 3 items. And then, I saw this was in there. It was made by Interact, so I wasn't 100% excited about it. Typically, I don't buy third-party controllers. However, it is still sealed. So it's still sealed. It's got the hang tab on it from the stores. And it is the SG ProPad 6. So this is one of those turbo 6-button controllers. But it is still sealed. So needless to say, it is going to remain sealed and will be put on my shelf. Very cool to have a sealed item. If we look at the year on this, it does not have a copyright year, which is kind of odd. So we cannot verify the manufacturing year without looking it up online. But if I had to guess, I would say mid-90s. Being a 6-button controller, it's probably 94, around that time frame. And moving on to some more games here. We have, next up is some thrift store pickups here. A bunch of common sports titles that I believe these are all $2 a piece. So we've got All-Star Baseball 2003 for the PS2, Major League Baseball 2K6, College Hoops 2K6. We've got ESPN 2K5, NFL, NHL 2K5, NBA Live 06, NHL 13, and another copy of Wii Fit. I always like picking up copies of Wii Fit to have just for trade bait. I have a bunch of extra Wii balance boards, so occasionally I run across somebody who's actually looking for this copy of Wii Fit for some reason. So I like picking up those types of items. And then the last set of items we have here is from Jason from Pocket Full of Games. He's in the Columbus, Ohio area. He had a pretty large auction. That it was either an auction or a fire sale, I can't remember now. I will link his Facebook page in the description below. He does these types of sales of his items on his Facebook page occasionally. So definitely follow his page so you get notified. And it was a pretty good day. It wasn't an auction, it was a live auction. And this is what I got from that auction. So we'll start off with Final Fantasy Legend for the Game Boy. And then we also have Final Fantasy Legend 3. Mario Kart 7 for the 3DS. A couple PS1 games. He's a huge PS1 collector. So if you have anything, maybe consider messaging him, see if he has it. Or if you're looking for anything, he may have duplicates of that. So we've got Tenchu 2. Sim Theme Park. Big Race USA. This is a pinball game. And then we've got some Xbox games here. So we have SpongeBob SquarePants, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Full Spectrum Warrior, Blink's Time Sweeper, Wallace and Gromit, and then a couple PS2 titles we have here. So we've got Def Jam Vendetta, Lego Star Wars 2. I love the Lego series of games. And last but not least, we have Ratchet and Clank for the PS2. So that's all the games for really the second half of May of 2018. I did have some other pickups that I'll be covering in a future video, but as far as this video is concerned, these are pretty much my pickups from the second and third week of May of 2018. Thanks for watching.